Alright, so let's get started with drawing this cardinal. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy drawing and painting and this kind of content. What I've got right now is just a simple pencil tool in Krita. And what I'm going to do is, anytime I start like a drawing, is I break things down to just some sort of simple shape so that I don't overwhelm myself with all this detail. So when I start this thing out, I'm just taking my reference photograph and I'm just looking at all the different kind of shapes. So all this is about observation. That's it. It's your ability to learn how to understand and look at details and just replicate those details. So when I started off this drawing, you can see this oval shape that I've got here, and that kind of sets my proportion, or just the size of the head of the cardinal. And now as I kind of go through here, I'm just going to block out what I see as all the different kind of shapes that I want to relate back to the head, because once I get these shapes nailed down and I've just got these profiles, then I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to start to block all those profiles with some color. And what do I mean by profile? Well, it's just the profile or the shape of the eyes. It's the profile and the shape of the beak and the overall shape of the head, and just the bounding shape that I use for it, because once I get all those things established, then I can go back in. I'm comfortable with the proportions, the sizes of them, and then I'm going to go and start blocking in colors. So now I'm going to pick a color. This is going to be my baseline color, which is going to be the color of the overall cardinal, which is going to be red. And I'm going to pick a simple digital brush. Nothing fancy, it's just the ordinary brush that you can find in Krita, similar to what you see in Photoshop. Just do my little test here. I'm gonna put it on a separate layer and I'm gonna set it to multiply, which allows me to see the line drawing underneath, so it just creates a transparent layer. And then I'm just going to block in this entire value so I can see the texture of the paper underneath. That's what the multiply ends up doing here, so I don't lose that texture. Alright, I'm just gonna make another quick adjustment, making it a little bit brighter. I'm just gonna block this all the way in. Now I'm going to select my darker color, and that's now going to go around the other profile, which is the dark portion, or the dark feathers around the beak and underneath the eye. Very characteristic of the cardinal. I've still got my layer opacity, or my layer into multiply. And then from here, I'm just going to end up making it a little bit darker. Let's go a little deeper dark. Just go to black. I'm going to block all that stuff in once again. So you can see now that the nice red and the contrast between the black and the red, it just really sticks out. And once I block these things in, then I'm going to come back later and we can start to texturize it. We can start to add a little bit of the feathers and the fur a little bit. I'm just making my eye color a little bit darker there. Now I'm going to pick my pencil tool. Here I can change the sizes, and I'm just checking out the texture here, and then I'm just gonna start to draw. And what this allows me to do is, this pencil texture tool in Krita is pretty slick. It really gives you like a colored pencil or Prismacolor type of feel to it, and this is why I really love this software. I'm sure there's a lot of other softwares out there that's pretty good. I know Painter's awesome, I've used that before. Photoshop's pretty good. But something about Krita, the fact that it's completely free and it's open source, it's a definite bonus. Now I'm taking my blacks, and then you can see I'm just texturizing it, so I got a little bit of the fur that I'm throwing in here, and I'm just gonna blend that in with the rest of the colors. I'm sorry, blend that in with the rest of the black. And I was doing this for my kid because my son, he just loves animals, so he's been telling me to draw all sorts of different things aside from what I was typically doing before. And I started to actually enjoy drawing birds and anything else that's different from the automotive stuff that I usually do. And it's really just therapeutic. I mean, just to do something different and use that skill set that you had before and try something else. It's awesome. It's a great way to experience learning how to create your own artwork. So I'm continuing on. As you can see, what I'm doing is just layering my pencil work on top of the colors. And I'm just using different kinds of shades. I've got just different kinds of hues. I've got reds and I've got oranges, and I'm adding all those things into the fur, so it just gives it some texture and it gives it some depth. And I've used a pretty thin looking brush here, right? So we can capture each one of those strands. Just gonna add a little bit of highlight here to the eyes. And you know, I'm just kind of working back and forth, experimenting. Do I like it? Do I not? Go back with that highlight. So it gives it that nice glassy look on the eyes. Now I'm going to focus on the beak. And once again, what I'm doing here is just texturizing it a little bit more, trying different directions, just so that I could pop it out a little bit. So I'm going to go with a pretty deep or lighter red color here for the bottom. But you can see it's all kind of fleshing out pretty nicely. And since I'm working on a separate layer, what I can do later is I can hide that layer that has the line drawing, and then I can go back in and just fill in the areas to define it a little bit more. Alright, so now that I've finished up the beak, we're going to go back and start to focus on the fur here at the top. So I'm going to go with the lighter color. I've got kind of a lighter orange color, and you can see I've sort of blended all these different colors together, because what it does, it shows the strands of the hair and gets it to show up against the red color. Alright, so I'm just going to scope it out, see what else I can do. I'm going to add some more strands of this fur here at the bottom, or the feathers. I kind of go back and forth saying fur and feathers, but you know what I'm talking about. And then lastly, I'm just going to go back into the beak, and then we're just going to add a little bit more color variance here. One thing you need to understand is that anytime you look at a particular color on an object, or whether it's a bird or anything else, that when you look at the native color, it's never, even though it looks like it's a red beak, there's so many other different colors that come into play. And that's what gives your drawing depth, is to sort of add all those different kind of colors and give it a little bit of variation. Just going to add these finishing touches, go with a little bit of a cream color, and that's it. We're all done with the cardinal. Just going to now hide the line drawing layer. Now you can kind of see, once you get all the painting in, you can just see what it looks like without having the line drawing. So on the next video, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it into kind of a cartoon and just transform this into something crazy. So be sure to catch the next video next week. Have a good one.